This is Mr. Hanna, and welcome to What the Format. Today we're going to talk about arithmetic, sequence, the explicit formula. So, vocabulary real quick. Sequence is a list of numbers. An example here, 5, then 9, 13, 17. Those three dots means that the sequence continues on forever with the same pattern that you see here. Okay, that's very important. Not all sequences contain a pattern, and not all sequences continue with a pattern that you may see forever. Okay, but in this case, this shows that this sequence, this list of numbers, is going to continue with whatever pattern is here on up until infinity. Okay, now some notation. N. Now this is a little. Notice a lot of students have difficulty with this. N is just the term, place in line. So, for instance, this is first place in line, then second, third, fourth. So the place number doesn't change. Like if you go to a mall and you see a line at the counter, okay, the first, second, third, fourth, on down doesn't change. Positive integers only describe the number of the place. Now the person in the place changes, just like these numbers will change in place, but this is the first place, so n is 1. Second place, n is 2. Third place, n is 3. Fourth place, n is 4. So I'll write that out. N, 1, 2, 3, 4. So n for this next term would be the fifth, sixth, and so on. So n is the integer number, positive integer only, that describes the place in line for the place in the sequence for the number. Now, a sub n, right here, this is the nth term that you see. Okay, so a sub 1 is the first term, a sub 2 is the second term, and so on. So a sub 50 would be the 50th term. Okay, we use a sub n because we don't know which term we want to describe. Also, since this goes on forever to infinity, we need to have a way to represent that, and we do it with n. So then lastly, there's this d right here. D is what's considered the common difference. Okay, so d equals your common difference. Now that's important because if it's going to be an arithmetic sequence, that means you're going to add or subtract the same number either time. Now that number can be in any format. You could add or subtract add a positive integer. You could subtract an integer each time. Could be a fraction, could be a decimal. Okay. What's important is it's the same number each time. So the way you figure it out is d is a sub n minus a sub n minus 1. So that's your nth term minus the one that came before it. So like here, this is a sub 2. That's a sub 1, so we're going to go 9 minus 5, which is going to be 4. Then we're going to go 13 minus 9, which is going to be 4. 17 minus 13 equals 4. If all of these are the same, that means, and you're doing the subtracting part right here, that means this is an arithmetic sequence. You added the same number each time. Okay? In this case, we're adding 4 each time. Okay? Now, very important at this point, what we're going to do next. Okay? Once we have our d, which is we know now is 4, okay, we're going to plug it in here. So my nth rule, they call this, and it's the explicit formula. A sub n equals a sub 1. Sorry, let me rewrite that. A sub n equals a sub 1. Okay, plus our d, which we know is 4 times n minus 1. So now in this case, our a sub 1 is what? We can replace that with 5. Of course, that will change if the sequence changes. D could change too, but the a sub n and the n minus 1 stay the same. Now notice at this point, we can simplify. We can distribute that 4. So a sub n is going to equal 5 plus 4n minus 4. So when we continue our simplification process, we're going to get 1 plus 4n. Now, the powerful thing at this point is, no matter what term in the sequence you want, you simply plug that number in and do the math. So if I want the 63rd term, so if I want a sub 63, I'm going to do 1 plus 4 times 63. See, you got your 1 plus 4 times your n. This is your n, remember. Okay, so 4 times 63, that's going to be 1 plus 252. So our a sub 63 equals 253. Okay, and that's how you A, find the explicit formula, and then B, use the explicit formula to find a specific term in the sequence. It's a lot here. If you're watching this video and taking notes, what you want to do is make sure you know what your D is, what term sequence is, what N is, what A sub N is. Know this. This is your starting formula every time right here. This is what you start with. Your D will change, your A sub 1 will change, but once you plug them in and simplify, that's how you get your explicit formula for any specific sequence that is arithmetic. Reminder, not all formulas are arithmetic. You have to check to see if it's arithmetic first. It's only arithmetic if when you do this minus this, this minus this, and this minus this, you get the same difference, the same common difference. If any one of those gives you a number that's not the same, then it's not an arithmetic sequence, and you can't use what we did here. So hopefully this gives you a good idea of a start of what arithmetic sequences are. Thank you for watching What the Format. This is Mr. Hanna. Happy mathing.